What's going down, everybody? So check it out, dude. It's Thursday, and with that, happy Thursday, guys. So check this out, dude. My son got with me 2 days ago and told me the blue truck is running off, or not running off, that sounds kind of strange, but it's running unnormal, right? And the transmission was slipping on him. Or he said it slipped. Maybe not that it's slipping, but he said that it slipped. Now, we're gonna jump down here. We gotta check some fluids. You know, he don't drive it very much compared to when I was driving it every single day. So we gotta check the oil, get it fired up, hear what we can hear, take it for a little drive, see if we can figure something out or recreate the problem that he said he felt, and see if it's running off or not. I drove the truck for 7 years. I'll know as soon as I fire it up. So let's get down here to the truck, pop the hood, check the oil, fire this bad boy up. We're down here, man. Here it is, dude. So I'm gonna check this oil. We're gonna get it fired up, dude. Now, I wanna kind of talk to y'all about the difference between my son owning this truck and me owning this truck while we check these fluids. This water, this power steering fluid. You can check the brake fluid right here. He's a little low. So, you know, there's something we all gotta understand here, is that my son drives this truck 50 miles a week, all right? And I was putting 1,000, 1,200 miles a week on this thing when I was driving it. So some of these issues, I'm not really sure if it's because the truck went from driving all the time to not driving all the time, but we are gonna get it fired up and see what we got. Look, he's in the safe zone, so that's a good thing. He's got plenty of oil. It doesn't look milky. Smells normal. Doesn't smell like gas. Doesn't smell wet, you know, like water's getting in there, so that's a bonus. Get all this going, man. Like I said, we got to get a little brake fluid here. Open this up. Looks like he's a little low on water. We'll put a little water in there. I mean, we're gonna go over it for him. Just because it's his truck, I still look after it. And I hadn't been out here, I'm gonna have to tell you guys, I've been caught up with that pit bike. So I hadn't came out here and done anything with this truck or my truck. But it was like I stated, so I'm gonna put a video out either today or tomorrow, the first ride of the pit bike. But like I stated in that video, we're moving forward. So at that point, we are moving forward. Now, so far he's good on oil. He needs a little brake fluid. He needs a little bit of water. He needs his battery terminal clean. Look at that. That thing looks terrible, man. So we're gonna check this power steering fluid one more time. It's right at the full cold mark, so I mean, that's good. So y'all give me 1 second. I gotta walk down here, get some water and some brake fluid. And so I'm gonna give y'all a quick walk around of the truck, dude. I mean, it needs a lot of love at this point, dude. So this is when they stole it. They did that to it and that to it. They did that big scratch down the side of it, dude. And then they also did that when they stole it. And they tore up the little plate. So the truck, I mean, the tape's coming off the back, dude, the paint. This thing's in pretty rough shape, guys. I had to give it to him though, man. He keeps the inside clean, which is a good thing. He does keep the inside of his truck clean. So let's pop this off, man. Add a little brake fluid. If you can't tell, dude, I love my Prestone. I use it. I mean, at that point, dude, I love this stuff. I use it in all my trucks. So I am gonna recommend to my son, always when you add like that, always shake it, right? You can see that line better. I mean, I'm right there at the top, right where I need to be. And you don't want to overfill. Don't overfill it, man. Don't overfill it. It's added pressure on your brakes when you're hitting the pedal. So I gotta add a little bit of water to it. We're almost there, gentlemen. We're just about to fire this bad boy up. See what it sounds like, man. He said it sounded funny to him. I don't think he's putting the antifreeze in it for the winter, and it's supposed to get real cold this coming up Monday. And that's how I check it. I can see my finger on the inside here, the inside of my reservoir tank, and then I just go up to where the bottom of the line is and I see where I'm at. So he was kind of low, fellas. He's still low. And that is your cold fill line. And this truck hadn't ran, well, since the weekend. He hadn't drove it. He rides with me to work, so he don't drive it to work. A little bit, guys, a little bit more. It's pretty much gonna take the rest of this gallon. That was probably about a half a gallon, fellas. I mean, I'm right there full now. That thing is pretty rigid. You ain't gonna shake that. Put that cap back on. So, here's what I'm gonna do for you guys. I'm gonna leave y'all right here looking at the engine, and I'm gonna fire it up. I'm gonna let y'all hear what y'all hear, and I'm gonna hear what I hear. So here we go, man. Here we go. I don't know about y'all guys, but that sounded just as normal as ever. And so I gotta move the truck down there by the 09. I'm gonna take it around the apartments. We're gonna see if I can get the transmission to recreate the slip that he felt. And we'll see what's up. At this point, it sounds exactly the same as the day I gave it to him. So, I mean, let's hop in it and take it for a ride real quick. Here it is, man, 417,900. I mean, on the button. So let's take it around the apartment complex real quick. I hadn't driven this truck since the day he got it back. I hadn't drove it not one time. So let's take it for a ride. I mean, it still sounds pretty normal to me, guys. I'm not really sure. You know, you got to understand, he doesn't have the knowledge, you know, that I have of this truck. I drove it every single day for 7 years, to work, to everywhere. It was the only truck I had. It was the only vehicle I had. So that's one of the reasons why he comes to me, which I prefer him to come to me and ask me about this truck, because I know, and like I said, as soon as it fired up, I knew. I mean, it sounded as normal as ever. Now, he don't really understand that, but I figure in a year's time or so, he'll probably get it. You know, he'll learn the truck the more he drives it. And that's another thing we gotta understand. He doesn't drive the truck much, guys, which is a good thing, but it could be a bad thing, because this truck is used to being drove every single day. It's not used to sitting. So some of the seals may sit and start leaking. They're old. I mean, I hadn't done anything major to this truck. Not from, well, anything major besides the differential. I replaced that, but I swapped it out with the complete differential. I didn't get into the rear end. I didn't even check it out. So, I mean, at that point, fellas, I try to give him a little break, because he doesn't know and he doesn't understand. And I understand that point. So, you know, I try to stay on top of it. And I take y'all with me because, well, I know we all love this truck on this channel. I know I do. So, we're going for our second round, dude. We're going around again. We have to, I guess, warm it up. I mean, it's dead cold. It hasn't ran in 4 days, 5 days. So, and I forgot my gate key. So I can't really go out on the road right now. I got to stop at the garage, at Bill's garage, and get my gate key, and then we take it out on the road. So that, and I got to go upstairs and get my my license and everything, my wallet. So as of right now, the truck sounds normal. I mean, the fluids were good. That was a half a gallon low of coolant, which it needed some antifreeze because it's gonna be cold, and I'm sure he'll drive it. And then, yeah, and before anybody asks, this is that dash cover that we're gonna use after we take the dash out. And that's another thing I wanna talk to y'all about, man. So, I'll turn this camera back around. Dude, it is almost impossible to get my son to stay at home on the weekends, because I need a Saturday and a Sunday, guys. It's gonna take both full days to get this dash out and back in with as little breaks as possible. We already know this thing is weak and, you know, it's ready to crack. This plastic's cheap, it's ready to crack. So as soon as I can either get it cold enough outside to where he really can't stand it, and he gives me the truck for a week, because I'm not gonna let him borrow my truck. That's not gonna happen. Then it'll be what it'll be. But I do need to get it done. I am ready to get it done. It's gonna be a big job, and I know y'all are ready to see it. So as soon as he gives me the opportunity to keep this truck here for Saturday and Sunday, from the morning to the night, both days, because we're gonna have to rip it out on a Saturday and leave it in pieces and probably put it back together on a Sunday. So yeah, that'll be that. Guys, I have to say, man, this thing sounds fantastic. Listen, I mean, that's normal. I've put a couple of videos out doing that, man. That's normal. So I think I stated this earlier in the video and I didn't finish the comment. So I am gonna recommend he changes the oil and uses some 8-cylinder treatment of the Restore. Now, with me saying that, and the issue I had with the 09, okay? The issue with the 09 was a MDS issue. It was not letting my activation of my solenoids. It wasn't letting them activate. So with this truck and the Hemi that's in here, I don't have an MDS system on it. So I do not refrain from using the Restore in this truck. It's never did me wrong in this truck. It's never dropped my oil pressure or anything. So I needed to state that the only reason I do not recommend it for a truck with variable valve timing or a multi-displacement system or that active fuel management, I think it is because it may affect that component of your engine from operating properly. That's what it did with the 09. So with this truck, I am gonna ask him to do that. He should have an oil change coming up here pretty quick. So here we go, fellas. We're gonna take this ride, man. Firing it up. Man, that sounds normal. Normal, and normal, guys. I have to say. We gotta buckle up and put this seatbelt on. Let's go. Second, third, and overdrive in this truck for years, man. Sometimes overdrive works, sometimes it don't. So it's been like that. I mean, it kind of kicks in, but it's not right, fellas. It does sound like it's extremely loaded up, like it needs to be out on the road and opened up a little bit. So we're gonna take that ride right now. We're gonna get it out on the open road and put a little gas to the floor here. His blinkers are out. On the freeway, man, we're gonna see what it'll do. It has been 6 months or so since I've drove this truck. I don't drive it, man, it's not mine. It is traffic time though, man. I ain't really got it where I can open it up right now. Wrong time of day. So, but we can give it some gas. Let's see. It feels good, guys. It's kicking down right. I hadn't felt a slip yet. So, and then that's another thing. We're out driving it. We're warming that transmission up. So when we get back to the house, man, we can check the transmission fluid. Because you can't check it in these Hemis with the engine warm or the engine and transmission cold. You won't get an accurate reading. Kick down right then. Kick down again right there. Hung in the gear there. It's almost like it's hung in second. We're gonna see. We're about to let the good times roll as soon as I can get an open spot, fellas. I had to literally turn the overdrive off and turn it back on, and it finally shifted out from, would be, I guess, drive to overdrive. But it still seems like it's running a little high for me, man. Like it needs to shift out again. Here we go. All right, man, so I'm making this U-turn right now. So we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna go through the gears manually. We're in first now. Here we go. We got a scratch. There's second. There's third. Now I'm gonna have to say that felt pretty good. So, I mean, dude, it could be as simple as it just needs to be out on the road and drove. It needs to be put through its paces every day. Like I stated earlier in the video, I drove this truck every single day. Everywhere I went, I drove this truck. So for it to go from that, like 1,000 miles a week to 50 miles a week, I don't really think that's a good thing. All right, me personally, guys, I feel like if you drive a truck or a car every single day, you should remain to drive that car every single day, not once a week. Don't just let it sit. If it sits, it ruins. That's what I believe. So it does still feel like it needs to shift out, like it's not completely into overdrive, which if that's the case, I've been dealing with that for about 3 years now, so that's kind of normal. Now, it is traffic, and this is the best I can do at this point, is to open it up. But I mean, the truck sounds good. If I kick it down like right now, see? Sounds fantastic to me. Same old screaming Hemi. It's just that shift right there, like I'm in a lower gear when I'm not, or I shouldn't be. So we're on our way back to Bill's garage. When we get there, we'll see what we can do. We'll check the transmission fluid, and then we'll end this video. It's already long enough, fellas, so let's get it. So we made it back, dude. We're back at Bill's garage. We're back at the apartment. Now, I ran the truck through the gears a few times. Now, I have to remember it doesn't have the MDS system, so it doesn't kick down. So I'm gonna have to say that the way the transmission was acting was pretty normal. That, and I was doing 80, 85 miles an hour. So I hadn't killed the truck. I have it in neutral. I got my emergency brake on. So let's jump out here, check this transmission fluid real quick, see if the fluid's starting to look really burnt or black. And yeah, so I'm gonna pop this hood, we'll get out there, we'll do this. So you can hear the truck is idling normal, man. It sounds really good. So I'm not worried about that. I don't know what he heard or what he thinks, but that sounds normal to me. So here we go. Let's see what this transmission fluid is gonna look like. It should be good and hot now with the way I was driving it. Y'all see the tip right there? Look at that. So that has been there a while. I'm really not gonna worry about that. This fluid is good, he's full. So with all that, man, I'm gonna have to tell him, I think he really just needs to drive the truck some more, open it up a little more, and clear it out. It does burn oil. So with that being said, you know, the oil being burnt, well, without it being blown out, kind of the way I was driving and getting on the gas and blowing it out, I had to put the truck in park and release the emergency brake, man. But yeah, so I think that the truck's still in pretty good shape. I'm gonna show you the mileage. We're at 417,915, and that's also to show you that we did drive the truck. We did put some miles on it. And the airbag light is something they did when they cracked the steering column. That's why it's on now. So with all that, you keep living the dream, doing your thing. Like and subscribe.